Hello, good morning. This is April with the Resellers Learning Curve. We are closing out the month of August, and I'm really glad to see August go. Quite frankly, it cannot end soon enough for me, and I don't usually feel like that. I am not usually so focused on the particular time period. I do love a good fresh start. I love the first of the month, and I don't necessarily get a check, but I love the first of the month. I love Mondays. I used to. Recently, not so much, but typically, usually, generally, I love Mondays. I love New Year's. I love new starts. I love new starts. And I'm going to tell you what, September, baby, come on. I am ready for September because August has been brutal. It's been brutal. But this is the Resellers Learning Curve, so you guys don't want to hear about my personal problems. You want to hear about reselling. So that's what I'm here to talk about. As far as eBay goes, things have been up, down, all around. I've had days where nothing is sold. I've had 2-3 days stretches where nothing is sold. Not atypical. I've had incredible days where it seemed like everything sold. I know I've had a couple of $500 days. And that is without a great effort on my part as far as listing and or sourcing. And sourcing is something that you guys know how I struggle with the sourcing out of controlness of it all. Some of you may have the same problem, but the sourcing thing is something I'm considering very seriously right now because I simply have to do something different. My life has shifted. My other areas of my life demand more attention than they once did for a number of different reasons. So I need to spend less time hanging out in thrift stores, which is unfortunate for me. Granted, I had worked this into my life pretty conveniently, but some of that time when I would run around on my lunch break, going from store to store to store to store and being late back to work, like, I just don't feel compelled to do that right now because I'm not really buying anything. And every year, I want to say it's in the fall, every year sourcing for me seems to dry up, just like some people have a summer slowdown with their sales. For me, I have a fall slowdown with hot merchandise. It's just, I don't find much. Because I know that I don't find much, I'm leaning towards limiting myself to like 2 days a week of being able to go out and source, unless I just stick with the general area. Thankfully, I now have about 3 thrift stores within 10 minutes of where I live. I'm gonna say in less than 10 minutes because Boardman, on a good day, if I'm going over the speed limit, I can get there in 10 minutes, but that's really like a 15-minute trip. But within 10 minutes of me, I have 3 thrift stores. And if I utilize those well, then I'm not wasting a ton of gas, putting a ton of miles on my car, traveling all over just to more than likely not buy anything. Because see, that's a huge part of the equation, is that I'm just at a place inventory wise where I don't need to buy anything. I'm still purging, I'm still organizing, I'm still donating, I'm still sending stuff off to ThredUp, which is going very, very well, by the way. If you guys want to hear more about my ventures on ThredUp, please drop that in the comments because it's not something that I want to talk about, considering that people come to this channel based on my eBay sales history. So I don't want to just bring a whole new platform on you because I don't think everybody else should necessarily add a new platform. There are platforms that I really expected to add before what happened with ThredUp. But like I said, I've sent back 10 kits, and as of right now, my average price per kit is lower than it should be based on 2 bags that I sent in that weren't great. But the most recent bags I've sent in, there have been some really, really interesting things that I didn't think they were necessarily interesting, but ThredUp priced them like they were interesting. So my payout on those is probably better than I would have accepted on eBay. So if you guys want to hear more about ThredUp, let me know that in the comments and I will do my best to get to it. But eBay has been, like I said, it's been relatively consistent. I don't think my numbers for the month were great, but I also remember in August, was it last year? It could have been last year. I remember in August where I actually made less than $2,000. And no matter how bad this August was, it was not that level bad. So I have no reason to complain. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy with what my business did for me in the month of August, with me having to do very little. With that being said, I want to cut back on the sourcing. I want to do more listing. I really, really, absolutely need to get myself on Etsy and get some of my vintage clothing especially listed. So if I do another platform, that's definitely going to be where I go next. I'm going to Etsy, just because I love vintage fashion so much. It's my thing. So I think that would be like a nice fit for me. But otherwise, I mean, things are things. Things are things. Work is really hectic. Work has become very demanding, and it's not a bad thing. It's a very, very good thing, because I am being pushed into the role that I was hired to do, that I kind of sort of did components of it, but now I'm expected to do my whole job very thoroughly, and it's a lot of work. My kids just went back to school. My personal kids and my students, I think both started last week. So it's a busy time, which is part of the reason for my shift in priorities. But like I said, I'll definitely check back in with you guys and let you know how that's going. But I did want you to know, why you haven't heard anything from me, it's not that I'm not reselling. It's simply that I have been very, very busy, but business has been good. It's been solid. I cannot complain. I have no complaints about business. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys experienced in August. If you were listing a ton, if you sold a ton, whatever the case may be, I would love to hear about it. So be sure to leave that in the comments. And on that note, I hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.